Welcome to today's episode. We're going to take a quick look at a topic many people misunderstand: the humor and friendships in the autistic community. There's a persistent myth out there, you've probably heard it, that autistic people just don't get humor or have trouble forging genuine social connections. But, as we'll see, that couldn't be farther from the truth.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here and I'm excited to dive into this. That myth about autistic folks lacking a sense of humor or struggling with friendships is so outdated. The reality is, it's just a different style. The neurodiversity perspective really helps to reframe things here. It sees neurological differences like autism not as deficits or problems, but as natural variations, even strengths, that bring something unique to humanity as a whole.
I love that reframing. It opens up so many possibilities for how we connect and understand each other. Let's start with humor. How would you describe the distinctive flavor of autistic comedy? What makes it special?
That's a great question. Autistic humor often starts with the ways autistic people process language and information. There's usually a big focus on consistency, patterns, and just saying things plainly. This leads to some fantastic, often literal interpretations that cut through the muddle. For example, if someone's given options like cream, ice cream, or custard, an autistic person might just say, "Yes, please." It feels so simple and logical, and there's real wit in that.
So true. We neurotypical folks often gloss over those little contradictions and don't notice how funny they are. But you're saying that for autistic people, those details stand out and highlighting them can become a kind of comedy?
Exactly. The brain is tuned to spot inconsistencies or literal meanings, and that paves the way for wordplay, puns, and the logic of the absurd. Something like laughing at a gym called Anytime Fitness that hasn't opened yet, it just points out an amusing contradiction. Or take a classic sketch with coconuts being used as horse hooves. That kind of twist, it's unexpected, logical, and absolutely hilarious from that perspective.
That's fantastic. I'm also curious about how this directness in communication style shows up in humor. A lot of people talk about deadpan delivery or dry humor among autistic people, and what's that about?
The directness absolutely plays a part. Rather than using lots of layered irony, there's honest, factual humor, sometimes dark, even satirical. Laughter itself can also be different. It's not always used as a social signal, but is often triggered by genuine amusement. It's real, it's unfiltered, and while that might sometimes be misread, it's an incredibly authentic way of responding.
I really love that. Let's talk about friendship now, because I think a lot of people overlook the strengths that autistic individuals bring as friends.
There's this stereotype of autistic people not wanting relationships when actually the opposite is often true. Sure, there might be less of the small talk or hidden social games, but autistic friendships tend to be based on deep loyalty and radical honesty. The advice is genuine, the commitment sincere, and there's much less of a hidden agenda, which creates a really solid foundation of trust.
And I've heard a lot about info dumping, sharing a deep dive into a personal interest. Is that a form of connecting too?
It absolutely is. Sharing special interests isn't just spouting facts, it's opening up, inviting someone into a passionate, joyful part of your world. For many autistic people, this is a primary way to bond. It's a gesture of genuine affection.
So, this different approach to communication, being clear, being direct, info dumping, actually enriches friendships and brings new perspectives into the group.
Definitely. Autistic friends often spot the logical flaws others might miss or offer completely fresh solutions. It's that outsider insight. To really build bridges, it helps to understand something called the double empathy problem. Basically, misunderstandings go both ways. It's not just autistic people failing to understand neurotypicals, but vice versa. Both sides miss cues the other finds obvious.
That's an eye-opener. Are there any practical tips for listeners on how to foster connection and understanding across neurotypes?
For sure. First, just being clear and direct is huge. Avoid unexplained idioms or sarcasm. And if someone info dumps, see it as an invitation to connect. Get curious about different humor and pause before judging what's funny or odd. Most importantly, respect social energy. Some folks may need downtime or quiet after socializing, and that's just self-care, not rejection.
I love that. So, to wrap up, autistic wit isn't missing or lacking, it's just different. Logical, honest, authentic, and deeply enriching. If we invite that into our world, we open up new ways to connect and laugh together.
Exactly, and it's a chance for everyone to expand their understanding, and maybe discover a whole new logic to friendship and joy just by listening.